Hello, I'm Kristen from Kristen Cain Style. Welcome. I am very glad that you are here. I am a style and mindset coach. And for those of you who don't know me, what that means is that I have all of the tools and the knowledge and the experience to help women build really great outfits. I understand proportion and I know brands and I know how to build an outfit and how to edit a wardrobe and how to organize a closet and how to shop for new shoes and all of that stuff I know and I understand, and I've done it for over 2 decades. I also bring an element of mindset coaching. And the reason that I do that is because over those 2 decades, I began to see very clearly that the main reason that women get hung up when it's time to get dressed and look and feel amazing in their clothing is because of what's going on in their minds. And I resisted this in my own life, and then I kind of resisted bringing it into my work for a while until I really realized that it is a fundamental component of looking and feeling amazing in your clothes is how you think and feel on a daily basis with regards to your body and your budget and your wardrobe and your lifestyle and your closet and the space, and all of it plays a role. And so now I bring that work to everything that I do. I bring both of those components, the style and the mindset. I have intertwined those because I do not feel that they can be separated. I don't think that it does a woman any good to help her create outfits and learn how to shop and edit out her closet and organize everything real pretty, and then not address what might be going on in her mind that is going to come Monday morning be right there front and center, no matter how pretty her closet looks, no matter how much we got rid of or what new pieces we bought. If those thoughts are still there unaddressed and unacknowledged and with no awareness, it's still going to be hard for her to get dressed. And I saw this enough in the earlier parts of my career and my work with style that I realized as I got more clear on how my mind and how I'm managing it affects every area of my life, I realized that this was happening with clients too. So I would help them create this amazing wardrobe, and then I would get texts and emails that they were loving it and they were getting compliments and they felt amazing and it felt like, they were so much lighter and everything was easier. And then 6 weeks later, I would see them in Target and they would be wearing kind of the same old grungies that they had kind of dug out of the pile that we were getting rid of. And they would be very apologetic about the fact that, I just ran out today and I didn't bother to get dressed, and kind of filled with a little bit of embarrassment. And I don't ever judge. I certainly run to the grocery store in the outfits that aren't my most amazing sometimes. It's not that we don't all do that. It's that what was missing was really looking at what causes that. What is happening in your mind? What thoughts and limiting beliefs are happening that keep you stuck in a space where you don't love how you look and feel when you get dressed? So that's the work I do. That was kind of a long explanation, but I really feel like it's important to share that I am not here to tell you what to wear. I am not really here to even, tell you how to wear it or what's the most important, certainly not to talk about the trends and all of that. I am here to help you understand that what you think and how you feel as a result of those thoughts affects how you look and feel when you get dressed. It affects what you buy and what you get rid of, and what you tell yourself with regards to your style and how that shows up in your life. And so all the topics that I touch on here have to do with some element of that. I bring both the style and the mindset in hopes that it can help you see things a little more clearly and catch yourself when you're thinking a thought that really isn't helping you get dressed and look and feel amazing. Style therapy is how I work one-on-one with clients. So if you would like more info, there's a link down below. We can hop on a consult call and I can give you more info about how that work one-on-one can actually change your life. For today, I'm going to talk about a topic that is like, I could talk about this all day. I won't. I will keep this to a reasonable length, I believe. So I asked my email list, and now I'm going to jump aside and say, if you're not on my email list, there's a link for that down below. Get on my email list because I ask my email people good questions and they give me good answers, and I share information there that I don't share anywhere else. So if you'd like to be on my email list, if you're not already, there's a link down below. So I asked my email list recently to share some things that they would like me to address both here and on Instagram, on my IG lives, just to kind of get an idea of what you are struggling with. Like, what are the things that are bugging you with regards to your style? And I got the most amazing answers. I got so many emails, and I have had so much fun interacting with those women. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking the time to respond and to share what really is bugging you and holding you back and what you're really struggling with your wardrobe. So today we are going to talk about letting things go. One of the topics that came up more than any other was, how do I know what to get rid of? How do I know how much to get rid of, whether I'm getting rid of too little or whether I'm getting rid of too much? How do I deal with the guilt? How do I deal with the fact that I take really good care of my clothing and so my clothes last a long time, but I get kind of bored and I'm not sure if I should let them go? All of the things with regards to letting go. So I'm going to read just a couple of the comments that I got, which kind of were the fuel for what I'm going to talk about today. I have a real problem letting go of my clothing that I don't wear much but love. I would love to have the mindset of how to get rid of clothing you love but no longer wear. What to do when I'm feeling bored with my pieces, not sure if I should let them go. What to do, I'm not sure what to do about gifts. When I get a gift, I feel like I need to hang on to it. So all of this talk of letting go and all of my work in closets and fitting rooms with women has made me realize that this was something we needed to address. And I don't know that I've ever actually talked about it like this before. So here we go. I believe that the crux of the issue of not having a style that you love is the resistance to letting pieces go. Doesn't mean that that's the whole problem. If you let pieces go, you might still not have a cohesive wardrobe that really functions and is fabulous for your life right now. But one of the biggest obstacles is the resistance to letting pieces go. And the reason for that has to do with the mindset, because that mental clutter, in addition to physical clutter, so you go into your closet and there are pieces you're not willing to let go, they are in the way, physically in the way. And more importantly, I believe, they are in the way mentally. So as you scroll through your closet, you're flipping through the pieces on the hangers, wondering what to get dressed, or rummaging around in the drawer, trying to decide what to wear. The stories about the pieces that you are not wearing, and mostly about the pieces that you're probably never going to wear again, but there's some story that is keeping them in place in your closet. Those stories are dragging you down. Those thoughts that you are thinking about those pieces you're not wearing, that resistance to letting those pieces go is why you don't have a style you love, because getting dressed isn't easy and it's not effortless, because every time you go in the closet, you are physically bombarded with those pieces, and more importantly, you are mentally bombarded with those pieces and the thoughts and the feelings and the beliefs that you have about that clothing. So if I could wave a magic wand or snap my fingers and instantly have all of the pieces in your wardrobe that you are not wearing, you don't love, they're worn out, they are damaged, they don't fit. If I could remove all of those in one instant, no emotion, no discussion, no deliberation, no considering, just literally they disappeared, you would find it easier to get dressed and you would likely look better, because you would eliminate all of that physical clutter and with it, all of the mental clutter. You would no longer be playing that game in your mind of, oh, should I wear this? I'm not sure it fits. If I put it on, it might waste time because I don't think they actually fit anymore. I think they shrunk and they're too short, or I don't actually have anything to wear with this top. That's right, that's why I don't wear it. Or, oh, this needs to be ironed and I keep forgetting to iron it. If all of that was removed from your closet, what was left would be the pieces that work, that you know work, that you can count on, and you could just get dressed with ease. And you would look better because it took less time and you'd be less frazzled and there'd be less mental noise. So your energy would be better, so you'd automatically look better. So with regards to, I'm hanging on to pieces I love and I don't know if I should get rid of them and I don't know how to let them go, it's a matter of different thoughts, because different thoughts create a different feeling, and then a different feeling allows you to take different action and get different results. So the thoughts that you're stuck in right now with regards to all the things you're not letting go of are keeping you in that space of not loving your wardrobe and not loving, how you look and feel when you get dressed. So lots of you mentioned not being able to let go of pieces you love. And so I'm very curious about this. And this is not the first time I've thought about this or talked about this with anyone. Clients mention this same thing. Oh, but I love that piece. I can't let that go. And yet you're not wearing it. And so I would ask in this, if this was a client session, and I'm asking you if this is something that you're struggling with or curious about, what does love mean in this situation? So with regards to these pieces that you love and you're not willing to let go of and you're not wearing, what is the love? Is it that you loved it once and it now is a little bit out of style, or it is a little bit worn and you just are attached to it and you loved it once and you can't let it go? Is it that you still love it, but you don't have the pants that you used to wear it with and you're not sure how to wear it, so you don't wear it anymore, but if you had the right components, you would love it again? Is it that you love it because you love the person it came from, or you love the memory, or you love the situation that, this garment appeared from, and yet you don't actually love the garment? Is it that you love it in theory? And this has been something I have struggled with, because I can love a piece and appreciate the workmanship and love the fabric, but I don't actually love it as a piece of clothing in my wardrobe that I'm going to wear on a regular basis. And so what is the love? Like when you say, I love a piece and I'm not getting rid of it and I'm not sure what to do about that, the love part is a little bit trippy. Like there's something there that isn't actually authentic. Because if you actually loved it and all things about it were amazing, you'd be wearing it. So it's okay that you loved it once and you don't love it anymore. It's okay that you loved it when it fit differently and something about it has changed and it no longer fits. It's okay that you loved it when it was really in amazing condition, but it's not in amazing condition. It's okay that you loved it when it was in style and it was, fresh and trendy, and you don't love it anymore. There's no reason to keep something just because you did love it if you're not loving it anymore. Another way I like to look at this with my clients is, what would need to change in order for that piece to make it out of the closet? In order for it to win the day and be the chosen item for you to wear that day, what would need to change? Is it that the climate would need to change? Is it that you would need to have some other pieces to go with it? Is it that you would need to learn how to wear it? You don't really understand what you're supposed to do with it. There are always those pieces in my clients' closets where they're like, I just don't know what to do with that. I love it and I think it's cool and whatever, but I don't know how to wear it. So is that the case, that you just need a lesson on how to actually make it work in your wardrobe? Is it that you need a different size? Is it that you need a slightly different version? And this happens a lot too, because a lot of women buy the piece that's almost what they really want, whether it's because of a sale, whether it's because of, the piece they want isn't available, whether they're shopping consignment and it's close, but it's not quite. They're afraid to hold out because it seems like it's good enough, and yet those good enough pieces aren't usually good enough. They get back home to your closet and they're close, but they're not quite right. And so is the reason that it doesn't come out of the closet because it's not quite right? Is it, if it were a different version, a slightly different shape, a slightly different color, a slightly different fabric, you would actually wear it? That would be what would get it to be chosen on any given day. Is it that it needs to be a different season? And that could be a different physical climate season. If it's hanging in your closet and you can only wear it when it's warm out and now it's the middle of winter, then consider that. Like, why is it still hanging in your closet, or why is it front and center getting in the way in your brain? It could be moved to a different closet, packed up to a different room, moved to the other end, whatever. Is it that it would need to be a different season in your life, that whatever you're in right now, whether it's retirement or motherhood or, whatever the thing is that you are deep in, a certain career that doesn't allow you to wear this kind of clothing very often, is it that your life would need to be in a different season? And do you see that season coming? So I'm not saying you need to get rid of all these pieces that you love but aren't wearing and are considering letting go. It's just to evaluate what's actually happening. Is it that you would need a totally different life? That you happen to love tropical patterns and sundresses and tropical prints, and yet you live in a very non-tropical area and you don't go on many vacations, but yet you have this idea that at some point you are going to have a villa or a little home in a tropical area where you'll be able to wear all of these dresses that you have accumulated. Then it's okay to love them even if you're not wearing them now. You don't need to get rid of them. They just shouldn't be in your main wardrobe, because every time you see them, you're realizing that that isn't the life you live right now, and that's beating you up a little, and there's no reason for that. And the next thing that I would ask is, what are you afraid will happen if you let it go? You're afraid that you'll need it. You're afraid that you'll miss it and want to wear it desperately. You're afraid that you'll regret it. You're afraid that that aunt who gave it to you will come over and ask for you to put it on, or ask why you're not wearing it, and you'll feel guilty. You'll feel sad, you'll be regretful. What is it that you think is going to happen if you let that piece go? And then really sit with that. How bad is that? If that aunt is upset because you got rid of it, is that the end of the world? Or could you just say to her, it didn't fit, or it didn't really go with the rest of my clothing, or I gave it to a friend who really loved it, whatever the answer would be. Would that be the end of the world? I have never, honestly, never, I'm not exaggerating, I have never had a client say to me after we have done an edit in her wardrobe, we gave away something I really wish I still had. Ever. Now, sometimes people gave away jeans in high school or jeans in college or a sweatshirt, a long time ago that they kind of wish they had saved. And sometimes that sweatshirt would actually be amazing right now, would actually translate, and you could wear it now and feel amazing in it. That piece usually just gets elevated onto a pedestal when we feel lousy that we got rid of it. And so the piece has turned into this most fabulous piece that if we had it, all of our problems would be solved. When really, if someone could materialize that piece and hand it to us, we would be like, yeah, it's not that great a sweatshirt, or it doesn't fit the way I remembered it. So honestly, I have never had anyone come back and say, I really wish we hadn't gotten rid of that. Because the truth is, when you energetically know that something is past its prime and that even if it's still in its prime, you are just done with it, getting that out of your closet energetically is the best thing ever, and you don't regret it, you don't miss it. So when you think about getting rid of clothing that you loved, what else comes up? Is it that you spent money on it and you feel terribly guilty about that? Is it that it was a gift and you'll feel terribly guilty if you get rid of the gift? Is it that it's for this fantasy self, that person who lives in the tropics, and that's sort of your dream life, and you feel foolish for wanting that life, or you feel shame because you don't have that life yet? What is coming up when you are thinking about getting rid of these clothes? Because that's what's getting in the way. That's why they still hang in your closet, because you have not addressed what you really think about them and what the feelings are that really come up when you consider actually putting them in a box and moving them out. You haven't done that work, and so you're just stuck. There's sort of this frozenness that happens because you are not ready to take action, because you haven't done the thought work to get through all the way to the bottom of, okay, I feel a little guilty that I spent money on it and I don't wear it, or that I used to love it and I don't love it anymore. How would I feel if I sold it on Poshmark? How would I feel if I gave it to a friend who's always admired it? Or if I donated it to Goodwill and I knew that someone else was going to love it and enjoy it when they took it home? If those feelings, if you can get a glimpse and just an inkling of how that would feel, usually makes it so much easier to get rid of pieces. Because what I find is, clients tell me, this is a piece I love and I can't get rid of it, but I'm not wearing it. And the reality is, you don't actually love it anymore. You love whatever the story is that you have told yourself about it, whatever the thoughts are or the feelings that it gives you, that's what you love. You don't actually love the piece. If you loved the piece, you'd be wearing it. And so yes, there are slight exceptions where if you love a piece and you just don't know how to wear it, or you love a piece and you need a couple different things to make it work. But usually what happens with those pieces when I work with clients is we do the work to create the outfits, to get the pieces that are missing, to learn how to wear the garment. And then they wear it a couple of times and they realize, actually, I used to love it. I don't love it anymore. Actually, I love the person who gave it to me. I don't love it anymore. And so when all of this happens, it's liberating. And so the other thing that I like to ask is, what would be possible for you if you let go of these pieces? If you let go of these pieces that you think you love so much and you're not wearing and you're not willing to get rid of, what would be possible for you? You'd have permission to buy something new that actually was the exact item you wanted, that you could fall in love with that new item, the one that fit better, or that was a slightly better fabric or a slightly better color for you, or went with more of your wardrobe or supported your lifestyle better. You would give yourself the permission to, okay, I've moved some stuff out. The universe hates a vacuum. So if you move something out, there's now space for something better to come in. You give yourself space, physical and mental space you are creating. You would benefit from that physical and mental space if you got rid of the pieces that you're no longer wearing, that you have decided that you love and you can't let go of. What else would be possible is self-trust. And I'm a big believer in self-trust because I see how incredible it is to take action and build self-trust around things where we have in the past been scared or stuck or kind of frozen. And so by letting go, even if it's one item that you love and you do something different with and get it out of your closet so you're no longer playing that mental game, you build self-trust and you think, okay, I did that and it was safe. I survived. Nobody got mad. Nothing happened. I'm not missing the piece. It's all good. Little by little, you learn to let go faster because you realize that once you build that self-trust and a new identity of being able to let go of things that you once loved if they're not serving you anymore, that it just grows. It kind of has a snowball effect. And then the other thing that you gain along with the self-trust and the space is sort of this freedom from the guilt and the heaviness and the shame that you've been carrying with you when you get dressed. When you go into your closet and you look at those pieces that you're not wearing, that is heavy. You're feeling all of that. And so if you get rid of all of those pieces, all of a sudden there's this freedom and this lightness. When the clients tell me, oh, my shoulders are relaxed and I feel so calm when I look in this new space now that we've edited and done the work, that's real. And it's available to you. And you can't get there without doing the work of getting intentional about what you're thinking and feeling about those items that you love, and what would change if you could let them go. And I'm all in favor of baby steps. And so I'm going to mention that now. You do not have to get the pieces out and put them in the trunk of your car and drive them off and drop them off somewhere today. There can be sort of a holding tank, kind of an intermediate step in the process of letting go. Get them out of your main closet. Remove them from your main closet so that every day you're not faced with all of the stuff, mental and physical, that comes with having to sort through that when you go to get dressed and pick an outfit. But you don't have to get rid of them immediately. So move them into a holding tank and give it 3 months, give it a month, give it 6 months, give it a whole year, however long you need, and then revisit it. My guess is that those pieces that you pull out are going to lessen their grip on you, and you will not feel the same way about them as you do now once you get them out of your closet and you investigate what the thoughts are that are actually having you keep them in your closet. The thought is, Aunt so-and-so gave this to me and I'd feel terribly guilty if she came over and wanted to see it and I didn't own it any longer. I feel awful that I spent money on this and I can't recoup that money. And so I'm just going to hang on to it to remind myself never to spend this kind of money on a piece that doesn't, light me up, or whatever it is. It's too much to carry. It just really is. And if you get the pieces out and you put them into a kind of holding tank, separate rooms, box them up, move them somewhere, at least in my own life and in my clients' lives, when you go back to kind of look through that box for whatever reason, usually those pieces have lost their hold. The grip has lessened and you're like, yeah, I can let these go now. The other side of that is that there could be a piece or 2 or 6 or 10 that are truly treasures and you love them, but you're never wearing them again. It could be your very first pair of really great jeans, or your high school denim, Levi's from high school, or a sweater that belonged to your dad or your mom, or some piece that is really a treasure. The sweaters your grandmother knit, or the hat your grandmother knit you, or a handbag you bought in Venice and you don't really carry it, but you don't want to let go of it. It is okay to have those very special pieces that we love and not wear them. And it's okay to box them up in a treasure box and visit them once a year or whenever you move houses and just remember those memories. I don't think it's necessary to keep the pieces. Certainly, I know lots of people who take a photo or who, just kind of recall the piece and then give it away or sell it or send it on, and they're okay without the physical item, to conjure those memories. It really is a matter of personal preference. I find that the pieces that I keep that I'm sure I want to hold on to, like the other pieces that you would box up, they lose their hold over time. And over time, the pieces that I thought I needed to hang on to, I realized the memory is not in this piece. The memory is with me, of whoever this person is, or this circumstance, or this situation, or this experience. And so I can let this piece go because it's really just taking up space. And in most cases, someone else would love it. And especially now that I thrift, I realize whatever someone is giving away, whatever I'm giving away or a client is giving away, those pieces often have a second chance or a third or fourth chance at making someone else very happy. And the sweater that I have on is thrifted. And so if someone hadn't decided to give this up, I wouldn't be able to be enjoying it now in this season. So I do believe that, the giving away gets easier as we do it, and we don't have to do it off the top. You can box things up. You can save special pieces in a treasure box just for the sake of having those memories close, even though you're not ever going to wear those pieces, and therefore they don't need to be in your closet. And the last thing I'll say about all of this letting go is something that comes from Marie Kondo, the author of The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. And that is, when it's time to let it go, thank it and let it go. And as corny as this sounded when I first read the book many years ago, of this whole idea of, thanking your items, other the items you're keeping, when you fold laundry, thanking your socks for keeping your feet warm. And it seems a little hokey, and yet I do believe that when we give something away, especially something that we once loved, there is something kind of nice about feeling gratitude and actually even saying out loud, thank you. Sweater, thank you. Blazer, for taking me to that job interview and helping me get that job that I loved. Thank you for, being the sweater that I wore when I was home with brand new babies. Whatever the piece is that you're ready to let go of because you're not going to use it anymore, you don't want it in your treasure box. I do think it's kind of cool to be able to just thank it and let it move on. All right, that's it. I could keep going, but I won't because I'm sure this has already been long enough. The real truth is that if you have pieces in your wardrobe that you love or don't love, if you're not letting go of them, you are keeping yourself stuck. You are not showing up as the very best version of yourself because there is clutter, physical and mental, that is happening every time you go to get dressed. And if you can alleviate that, it gets so much easier and so much more fun because all of that spinning that happens every time you look at those pieces just disappears. If you would like my help with this, I work one-on-one with clients. Style therapy is the way we do that. There is a link to my calendar down below. I do a 1-hour consult call where we really go into what you are dealing with, and I can give you a very clear picture of how style therapy works and how it would work for you, and we can see if you think it's a good fit. I'll be on Instagram next Tuesday doing a live Q&A, so if you have any questions, pop on over there, and I'll be back next Friday with a new video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here, and thank you to the folks who wrote to me and told me about their struggles with letting go of pieces that they love but they're not wearing. I really appreciate your input and your feedback so that I can be sure to be speaking to the things that are bugging you the most. Thank you. Have a great day.